been a Five Nights at Freddy's fan for years now, and I've recently watched a playthrough of Secret of the Mimic, and it has me rethinking the whole franchise now. Spoilers ahead. In Help Wanted, we were told,
while it's true that some stories associated with our name were loosely based on actual events, the majority of them were total fabrications from the mind of a complete lunatic. Lawsuits pending.
And I honestly feel like this hasn't been talked about as much as it should be. I think a lot of us assumed it was Fazbear's saving face, which it almost definitely was. But I think there's more to the story. With the knowledge we have now that the Mimic has existed this whole time, I can't help but wonder how much of the hauntings are actually the Mimic. We know it can pretend to be people, even people that are already dead, and we know that it can take control of other animatronics. But it has me thinking, what if the haunted animatronics from the first few games are also the Mimic? Those games had to have some truth to them because of the Fnaf 6 location being real, but also there's an email in Secret of the Mimic where Edwin reveals that the animatronics have some bugs, and it really does remind me of the line,
"The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night."
What if the haunting behavior from those animatronics came from the Mimic? And because of the stories around the missing kids in the area and the theories about Afton being the murderer, these hauntings became more prevalent and more based on those stories. And then FNAF 6, instead of it having been a trap for the spirits and Afton, it could have been a trap for the Mimic, who was spread out around the animatronics, including one that was acting like William Afton. And what seems to kind of back up this theory for me is a poster in Help Wanted 2. It is a drawing that's on the wall, and it's of Helpy running away from a burning building. And we do know that Helpy is another version of the Mimic AI. So this kind of proves to me that the Mimic was there when FNAF 6 was burnt down and somehow escaped. What this theory doesn't explain, and I can't really wrap my head around, is why Afton is a murderer. If this part of the story about the spirits and therefore the remnant is a fabrication for the first few games, then what is the motive behind Afton's killings? Because it was a popular theory, at least a theory I was hearing around a lot, that the reason Afton was killing was to study Remnant. But if Remnant doesn't exist because spirits don't exist, then why was he doing it? Did Afton believe Remnant existed? Was he just trying to recreate the Mimic and that's why the killings were happening and the Remnant is just what was fabricated? We do know that he would have known the Mimic would have existed before these killings started. Was William Afton a murderer at all? Or was that all fabrication as well? Was it just rumors? Were these rumors never even a thing that happened? Where does Michael come in all of this? I don't have all of that figured out, but The Secret of the Mimic really has me thinking about the franchise as a whole again, and wondering how much of what we know is true. And as a fan, it does really excite me to see how this game might revamp the series. What do you think about this theory?